Reviled is one of the worst sequels of all time. It's hard to find fans of Blues Brothers 2000. Watching it, you see the predecessor to the modern cash grab nostalgia bait sequel. Made several years after the original? Check. Way too many callbacks? Check. Making things wackier and zanier for no real reason? Check. A new kid's sidekick? Check. It's a retread of the moments people loved, in an attempt to recapture that lightning in a bottle. When you put it all together on paper, it seems like the perfect recipe for dog shit. And hey, I'll admit, side by side with its predecessor, there's a clear winner. I won't sit here and attempt to tell you it's a great movie. Good is pushing it a bit. But today, I'd like to offer a few words on why it's a decent, bordering on good movie, with a definitively good soundtrack. Unlike most Blues Brothers fans, I never watched the original growing up. So, when it came time to engross myself in the blues mythology, I watched both of them back to back, and had no nostalgia for it to ruin. As a music-oriented channel, I'll focus a lot on the songs of the film, but I'll try to spend a good bit of time on the plot. If you like what you see, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. If you don't, maybe do that anyway, and hope that I get better. Cheers. So, for the uninitiated, who are the Blues Brothers? Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi met on the set of Saturday Night Live, and after singing together for a gag, they discovered a mutual chemistry and love for music. Aykroyd indoctrinated Belushi into his childhood fascination with blues, and his partner was hooked. Together with SNL's backing band, they established a recurring act as the Blues Brothers, Jake Joliet Blues and his brother Elwood. Make no mistake though, while they're the guys in suits out front, the backing band is just as crucial to their iconic sound. After a few years of this, they put a live album together, and it hit #1 on the Billboard charts. Pretty crazy for an SNL bit. Seeing the success of the album, as well as Belushi's status as a burgeoning star, Universal and Paramount fought tooth and nail for the rights to a film. The former won the bidding, and got to work on a 1980 release. In a continuing string of luck, the movie was pretty well received, and while not a runaway success financially, it achieved cult status with late-night showings and re-releases. Things were looking up for the band, and they released another live album that same year. On top of the world, what would they do next? Unfortunately, that was the end of their run. 2 years later, John Belushi died from an overdose. His problems with addiction were well known and documented, and yet the success of the last few years had only encouraged and enabled it. Any plans Aykroyd had for a second movie or any follow-up albums were shattered. He had just lost a friend and a brother. Time went on, the movie remained beloved, and Aykroyd opened himself up to performing. Former SNL alum John Goodman and Belushi's little brother Jim joined Blues Brothers revivals, and the idea sprang up, after so many years, to do a sequel. They even performed together at the Super Bowl to promote the revival, and this was post-MJ, so that meant something. Smelling money, Universal was eager to agree, signing all three of them on for a follow-up. Unfortunately, this offer came with drawbacks. The studio eviscerated their original script and made it more family-friendly. No one, whether director or star, was happy about this.
Bullshit.
Even worse, Jim Belushi got pulled into other commitments and was unable to make it for filming, forcing his role in the plot to be recast as Joe Morton. Now, I don't mind this, and rather like Morton's performance, but it was still a shock to Aykroyd and Goodman. And if this wasn't enough, they were also forced to include a kid sidekick, Buster Blues. The film is made, comes out, and bombs. By now, you probably know the story. Aside from a few anniversary and revival concerts, it marked a pretty definitive end for the act. I won't dig too hard into the film, as so many YouTubers before me have done just that. I don't like the excessive references to the first film, nor the plot threads that are just trying to recreate it outright. The Russians are an interesting antagonist for the first few scenes, but they don't need to chase the band across the country. Nor are the white supremacists as entertaining as the Nazis without a grand chase sequence to match. It wouldn't have been too difficult to give a reason for reuniting the band, as without such, the reunion sequence feels a bit too forced. Luckily, they don't make it last quite as long, so even if it is all a rehash, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Soundtrack-wise, I also have a few gripes. The original soundtrack album is a tight, well-rounded package that utilizes its guest stars well. With the exception of Minnie the Moocher, their songs are all up-tempo, energetic, funky, and danceable. Aretha and Ray get soul tunes, while James gets a gospel number. This time around, there's a lot more emphasis on the blues aspect of the brothers, which is mostly hit but occasionally miss. These tracks are at their best with a decent groove to them. Take second track, Blues Don't Bother Me, by the band's guitarist Matt Murphy. But something like Dr. John's cover of Season of the Witch never feels like it goes anywhere, which hurts me to say as a Dr. John fan, but I just don't care for his vocal performance. And it doesn't have Donovan's mid-song tempo change. I also feel that the Gator Boys rendition of How Blue Can You Get just doesn't touch B.B. King's original recordings. Not a diss against any of the talents on display, but it's just too many cooks in the kitchen. The guitar and piano riffs aren't as clean amidst the background noise. There's a lot of distracting show-offs. I also just can't get down with Elwood's Cheaper to Keep Her. Lounge singing isn't his thing, and he's got no second brother to harmonize with. The elephant in the room is the absence of John Belushi's voice as frontman, one of the brothers' greatest strengths. Elwood plays a mean harmonica and harmonizes well as baritone, but he doesn't have the bite that his brother had when he's in the spotlight. John Goodman's Mighty Mac has a powerful, booming voice that translates well to his singing. No notes there. Joe Morton's Cab Chamberlain is smooth, and he's got a great range that he can move around on a dime. Helps that he comes from a Broadway background. But he can't replicate Jake's gruffness, so Mac has to handle that separately. Elwood, Mac, and Cab make a hell of a triple threat when together. Too bad that's only for 3 out of 18 songs. It's that way for plot reasons, but it's still disappointing. Alright. I've been hating on this movie for a while now. Where's the good stuff?
Hit it.
One common criticism of the movie is to call it pointless. Without Jake there, what's the point of the Blues Brothers?
The orphanage is gone, Jake's gone, Curtis is gone. I got no brother, I got no roots, I got no life, I got nothing for Christ's sake.
And yet you're still making a movie. See the problem here?
Yes, a sequel with both brothers would be better, but you write in the circumstances you're given, not the ones you want. The film's main through line, at least to me, is not reuniting the band. That's a goal along the way, but it's not what it's really about. Elwood is reeling from the loss of a brother. Curtis, his father figure, is gone as well, leaving him feeling like he's got nothing left. No friends, no home, no family. Elwood is downtrodden and brought to tears at the film's beginning. But the Lord isn't about to abandon him. The Penguin tasks him with the mentorship of a young Buster, a kid without a home or a family. She also tells him of Curtis's long-lost son, a brother that Elwood never knew he had. And sure, Cable might not want anything to do with Elwood, nor does Elwood want anything to do with Buster. But, as he puts it,
the Lord works in mysterious ways.
The mission from God this time around, while not directly stated, is for Elwood to find his family, to convince his brother to embrace his heritage, to grow into a father figure for Buster, to take shy bartender Mac out of his shell and into the spotlight. And if he needs to drag in his old band to do so, so be it. By the movie's end, he's accomplished all of this. Even if they part ways for now, Mac and Cab are happier and have found purpose in their lives. Buster wants to stay with Elwood, no matter where the road leads. Where he started the movie with nothing, he ends it with the family he was searching for, and everyone is better off for it. And I think that's a damn good arc. Buster and Mac might not get the screen time they needed, but it's still enough to show how Elwood's changed them. And when it's not a movie about family, it's another loving tribute to the spirit of soul and blues. Make fun of Aretha Franklin and James Brown's cameos all you want, but they still kill it, they still look like they're having fun, and they very much deserve modern recognition. Hell, Wilson Pickett is grinning as soon as they walk in the door. And B.B. King was so disappointed that he wasn't in the first one that he requested to be here. Every song I didn't rag on before is, naturally, amazing. Born in Chicago's pretty easy listening as an opener. Looking for a Fox is a wonderfully funky intro to Mighty Mac. Perry Mason and Can't Turn You Loose are nice instrumental reprises from the live albums. Pickett, Eddie, and Johnny's Number is a blast to both watch and listen to, with an earworm of a hook. Maybe I'm Wrong's got a powerful snare and cowbell that's only balanced out by the roaring gravel of John Pepper's vocals. Follow that up with Goodman's bluegrass epic, Riders in the Sky, with a violin solo that'll send chills down the spine. After a simplified rendition by Taj Mahal, John the Revelator is another great gospel tune that only picks up in ferocity with the singing debut of Cab Blues. The backing band and returning keyboardist Paul Schaefer get a chance to shine in Funky Nassau, before Erykah Badu comes in as the elegant Queen Musette and just kills it. Turn On Your Love Light is a great finale to not just the movie, but the Blues Brothers as a whole. Here, all four brothers get a chance to sing along and show off their chops, even Buster. Then we've got New Orleans, which also has the too many cooks in the kitchen problem, but is fun, up-tempo, and has everyone taking turns. So, not my favorite, but still pretty good. For statistics nerds, here's my songs liked versus songs disliked chart. Counting just the vocal tracks, that's 11 out of 14. Not bad at all. I think plot-wise, there's obviously a lot that it could have done better. Giving more structure to the band's reunion and cutting a lot of the callbacks would be nice. But I like Mac, I like Cab, and yes, I even like Buster. I don't mind Queen Musette having magic powers, or Cab's divine costume change.
Ultimately, if invited, I would watch this movie a second time. It's far from perfect, it's not great, and good is a tall order. But the worst sequel of all time? I don't think so.
Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts on Blues Brothers 2000, positive or negative, let me know in the comments. Till next time, see ya.